Crazy is based very heavily on a song called Last Man Standing by Gianpiero Reverberi and Gianfranco Reverberi, which comes from the soundtrack of a 1968 spaghetti western called Django Prepare a Coffin. Danger Mouse took a lot of elements from this song. He uses the chord progression, big parts of the melody. He uses the idea of a guitar playing roots of the chords in this kind of single note line, and he borrows the general air of moody desperation. Simple though the track is, the harmony has got a lot of complexity to it. And given how kind of stark and minimalist the production is, the harmony in this song is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting, emotionally speaking. The verses and choruses use the same 4-bar loop: C minor, E flat, A flat major 7, G7 sus, G7. The C minor to E flat is the minor going to its relative major. That's the mirror image of the progression in Send My Love by Adele, sober and serious, lifting up to a moment of triumph. The E flat to A flat major 7th is a root move by a 5th, a very strong Western classical feeling of resolution, acting like a 5-1 cadence in the key of A flat. It's another little moment of triumph. With the move from A flat major 7 to G7, things suddenly get real. Those two chords are the standard classical music tools for ramping up suspense before landing back on C minor. So forget about the context for a minute, and let's just stay with the feeling of these two chords. You can feel how tense and suspenseful they are. So part of that is because the roots of the chord are a half step apart from each other. And in Western music, we consider that half step interval to be a very dissonant one. And also you can feel the contrast between that light, open, airy feeling of the major 7th chord and that more solid, no-nonsense feeling of the dominant 7th. To heighten the drama even more, we're not even landing on plain G7. But rather G7 sus, or GCDF. Suspension is one of those rare music theory terms that perfectly describes the emotional impact. Pulling away temporarily from what's coming, delayed gratification. Finally, G7 resolves back to C minor, a regular old classical 5 to 1 minor cadence. We've been trained our whole lives by Beethoven to hear this root move as inevitable. C major to A flat major 7 is a pretty wonderful sound, worth spending some time with. Combining a 1 chord from major with a flat 6 major 7 chord from parallel natural minor is an infallible trick for giving your otherwise happy song a touch of sophisticated wistfulness, like Pharrell's Happy or innumerable Beatles songs. The C dropping a major 3rd to A flat feels like swooping down out of the sky on the back of a giant eagle. The A flat major 7 moves to E flat, which is a common move. It feels like 4 to 1 in E flat, so it's quite palatable. But it's setting us up for the next real bit of harmonic drama, the E flat to G7. Here, the root moves up a major 3rd. So Danger Mouse is using the same chords in this bridge as he's using in the verses and choruses, but he's changing their order and also swapping C minor for C major. And the result is that you get more of these root moves by major 3rds. In general, this bridge just tells a very different emotional story from the minor key verses and choruses that surround it. It gives you this feeling of overcoming impossible odds, of succeeding in spite of adversity, and surprising everybody who doubted you. So that might sound crazy, but it really makes sense to us.